So I'm Georgina, this is Saxon. I also have a nearly 14-year-old daughter called Mila, and Saxon is 6 months. So I knew from my first that there was a little bit of a push towards breastfeeding, but I did know that it was something that you need to persevere at. I think with my first, I didn't know it would take 4 days for my milk to come in, for example. And I had this screaming child. I was in labour for 3 days, and then 4 days on, she's screaming, I'm crying, my mum's crying, and then my milk finally came in, and I think that was a bit of an eye-opener. But by that point, took a bottle of formula and that was it. So my breastfeeding journey was very much the colostrum, the initial stuff, and then we didn't carry on. Now I was ready to persevere with it. So obviously midwives are helpful. I had a lovely midwife in Felixstowe. Online, I mean, you read a lot online, and I don't think I saw any horror stories. You know, on things like Instagram, you hear a lot. I did read a bottle versus breastfeeding book, and as part of, I read a Siobhan Miller book on hypnobirthing. Again, that had little bits in there about feeding baby, and then from friends. But it's difficult, but you shouldn't compare yourself to other people because journeys are so different. You know, birth journeys to first few days to first few weeks and months, the differences between, for example, me and my friends has been really different, so you never know what you're going to end up with, really. So it's just to prepare yourself for best and worst. It took a good few months, I would say, to get established and feel fully comfortable with it. I wasn't afraid of whipping my boob out in a calf or whatever. I wasn't afraid of that at all. But you don't expect to feed them and then half an hour later have to do it again. The initial few weeks was difficult for my partner because it was like he only wanted me, and it was only for me for one reason, because he was, you know, hungry. I literally couldn't leave him for more than like an hour without him being upset. So I think it was probably that overwhelming that feeling of being needed would be it, as opposed to hormonal. And when he did settle down and he was feeding less, he said, well, what am I going to do with my time? Because you're feeding all the time, and then all of a sudden it's a couple of hours as opposed to every hour, and basically you are a human cow for a few months, and then it settles down. I wish I knew how often they feed in the early days, because it can be all the time, and like 40 minutes, half an hour off, an hour on, yeah. I wish I knew that. I wish I knew that I could probably introduce a bottle, as in to express and give a bottle from earlier, because he refuses a bottle now, and I think that if I was to breast and bottle from early, even breast milk, then it probably would have made life a little bit easier now. I wish I knew that it would get easier. Be prepared not to sleep still, but also appreciate that the bond and the quiet time that you can have with them. Like, no, I can't do that because I'm going to sit and feed him for half an hour. That's quite nice, just to sit and have your own little moment.